Peace and power elevation. This your girl Tiffany coming through here live in effect. Today's topic is going to be dealing with Black history. So I'm going to be talking about Michael R. Holland and Air Atlanta. Just to give a little bit of background before I get into his biography and get into the sources. So a lot of people don't know about Michael R. Holland. He was from Atlanta. He was an attorney that became an entrepreneur, and he founded Air Atlanta. Air Atlanta was an airline that was founded in 1984 and ended in 1987 because of bankruptcy. Okay. So many people don't know about this particular airline unless you are in Atlanta and you was here around that time when those airlines was running or whatnot, if you ever took a flight on one of them. So like Delta was founded here in Atlanta. Delta is a very popular airline here. This is the home of Delta airline. Okay. Atlanta is the home. But Air Atlanta was around since 1984 and it stopped in 1987. And not much being brought into light about history. So I tried to look up as much information as I could regarding to Michael Hollis and Air Atlanta. And I'm going to also be talking about the academy that is named after him. Okay. But let me go ahead and get started. So right here, this is the Air Atlanta airline. This is one of the airplanes. Right, and then that's the other airplane. Okay. So let's get into who is Michael Hollis. So Michael Hollis was the Atlanta attorney, and he founded one of the earliest Black-owned airlines in 1984. He was born in Atlanta on October the 22nd, 1953. The youngest of 5 children of Film H. Hollis, a Pullman porter, and Virginia R. Hollis, an official with the Atlanta Housing Authority. Growing up in a segregated neighborhood of Atlanta in the late 1950s and 60s, Hollis witnessed nonviolent campaigns across the South, as well as the leadership of fellow Atlanta resident Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. By the time he was 15, Hollis was elected president of the Atlanta Youth Congress. Through this organization, he met influential Atlanta leaders, including then Mayor Ivan Allen Jr., Andrew Young, Julian Bond, Vernon Jordan Jr., H.J. Russell, and the man who would one day be the first Black mayor of Atlanta, which is Maynard H. Jackson. Hollis graduated from Booker T. Washington High School and then Dartmouth College, where he earned his bachelor's degrees of art, followed by a Juris Doctorate from the University of Virginia School of Law. While a student at Dartmouth, Hollis served as student advisor to Dartmouth College president John George Kimney. While at the University of Virginia School of Law, he was the first African-American to be elected national president of the 30,000-member student division of the American Bar Association. So it goes in to talk about, in the beginning, he went to school to become an attorney. All right. So after passing the bar in Virginia, Hollis worked briefly with the law firm of Hazel and Post in Atlanta before, in 1979, being appointed by President Jimmy Carter as Associate Chief Counsel of the President's Commission on the Accident at the 3 Mile Island, known as the Commission in Middletown, Pennsylvania. Hollis would later relocate to New York City, where he served as Vice President of Public Finance with Oppenheimer and Company from 1981 through 1983. In 1980, at the age of 27, Hollis presented a business plan to the National Alliance of Postal and Federal Employees to create a Black-owned airline. So NAFE invested $500,000 in Hollis' plan, resulting in Air Atlanta, which was officially launched in February 1984. The airline was short-lived and filed for bankruptcy in April 1987. All right. Hollis then teamed with Atlanta builder H.J. Russell to establish Hollis Communication, which owned an Atlanta radio station that was later sold to Cox Enterprise. In the early 1990s, Hollis launched and sold Hanover Credit Company, and then a few years later, he established the Blue Sky Petroleum Company with his older brother, James B. Arnold. Blue Sky owned dozens of convenience and petroleum retail stores in Metro Atlanta. In 2003, he and another brother, Julius Hollis, formed a partnership with J.P. Morgan Chase to establish Nevis Securities, LLC, a registered Black-owned financial service company. 2 years later, President George Bush appointed Hollis executive director of the U.S. Virgin Islands Housing Authority. In 2007, Hollis was appointed by the Fulton County Commissioner to serve on the board of directors for the Fulton DeKalb Hospital Authority. Michael Hollis died on June 18th of 2012 in Atlanta from a prolonged illness. He was 58 and he survived by his wife, Dina Hollis. All right, so this came from blackpast.org. And that's the information. And so you can find on Wikipedia information by Air Atlanta. All right. So let's just read a little bit of history about it. So it says the airline was started in February 1984 by attorneys Michael Hollis and Daniel Kober. Besides operating point-to-point service as an independent air carrier, it also provided passenger feed for Pan American World Airways as Air Atlanta Pan Am Express, connecting Pan Am passengers to and from flights operated by Air Atlanta. So the first scheduled route was Atlanta-Memphis, with the first flight being operated on February 1st, 1984, using Boeing 727-100 jetliner. So that's just like the size of the plane, etc. By April the 1st, 1984, nonstop 727 service was being operated Atlanta-Memphis, Atlanta-Miami, and Atlanta-New York JFK Airport. By July the 1st, 1985, Atlanta-New York LaGuardia Airport nonstop service had been added as well. The airline subsequently introduced services to Detroit, Fort Myers, Greenbrier, Lewisburg, West Virginia, New Orleans, Orlando, Philadelphia, Tampa, and Washington, D.C. National Airport. So when Air Atlanta initially began service, every seat was a first-class seat with meals served on white linen, accompanied by fine china and crystal, although the airline stated that it was charging coach fares for this service. Air Atlanta then introduced two-class service on its Boeing 727 aircraft with two seating in first class and 2-3 seating in coach, with the latter cabin usually being configured with 3-3 seating by most other air carriers that operate the 727. The airline flew 3 million passengers before it shut down on April the 2nd, 1987. When it filed bankruptcy at the time, it filed KLM offered to invest $10 million in Air Atlanta if the existing investors would match it. The existing investors declined it The existing investors declined even though Air Atlanta was making progress. Air Atlanta had a perfect safety record and was responsible for many innovations in the airline industry, including with respect to financing its operation through the use of the zero coupon convertible note. All right. So again, that's this the airline. That's Air Atlanta. All right, and these are the list of places that Air Atlanta went to. Okay. Peace, Brother Chauncey. How you doing? All right, so I want to also show the location of the school that was named after Michael Hollis, which is Hollis Academy. All right, so all right, so this is the website. This is Hollis Innovation Academy, a PK to 8 education expandatory STEM school. So this school here teaches the STEM program. Basically, STEM is science, technology, engineering, mathematics. So that's the primary focus of the school. So it's ran by the Atlanta Public School System. However, they're more like a charter school, and their primary focus is dealing with the STEM, dealing with technology, dealing with science, just dealing with future scientists. That's what it's all about. All right. So most of the kids that go here or that are attending are of African descent. Most of them, they're predominantly African descent, and you got other racial groups as well. Okay. So here's some of the pictures here. And this is the website. This is R Hollis Innovation Academy. And let me pull up the address because it's located in Vine City area. All right, so see, so it says here, Hollis opened on August the 3rd, 2016 to students of the Vine City English Avenue community, which is on the west side of Atlanta, initially serving PK to 5, which is kindergarten, pre-kindergarten to 5th grade, and added a grade level each year until the school reaches 8th grade, which they started back in 2019. All right. Okay, so it says Hollis was formed in 2016 following the closing of Bethune Elementary School, which at the time was one of the lowest performing schools in the district. Students began the 2016-2017 school year in the former Kennedy Middle School building, now known as Michael R. Hollis Innovation Academy. Right. So again, it was named after him. Okay, there go Michael Hollis again. All right, and so this is the address at the very bottom. So it's located at 225 James P. Barley Drive, Northwest Atlanta, Georgia, 30314. Okay. So again, it's over there on the west side of Atlanta. And that's all I wanted to show you guys for today. So that's all the information that I have. I don't have any more information regarding to Michael Hollis and Air Atlanta. All that I presented to you, that's all I had available. That's it. So other than that, I thank you guys and I appreciate you all for tuning in, watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Gotta have my tea. All right, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, share the channel, and all that great stuff. And until next time, y'all take it easy. I'll probably come back on here later on to do another topic. It depends on how I'm feeling. But if not, y'all make y'all day productive and y'all have a good one. And until next time, this your girl Tiffany. I'm logging off. With that being said, may peace and power elevation be to all of you. And thank you for tuning in. All right. All right, then.